If you know a lot of English but can't express yourself fluently, the fastest way to become a confident, automatic speaker is to learn real conversational English in easy, natural steps called the Fluency Bridge. This simple system helps you learn spoken English without being overwhelmed by too many difficult speakers, words, or accents all at the same time, and develops the habits you need to speak without hesitation. In this video, we'll look at two of these important steps: learning conversational vocabulary and then seeing this vocabulary used in a real conversation between native English speakers. To see how the complete Fluency Bridge learning system works, click on the link in the upper right of this video. Let's get started. Next, to do something on your own too. Now, this is one of those English phrases where we have something that we're eliminating some of the words to make it sound a bit cooler, but also because the other natives we're speaking with understand what we're talking about. Now, to do something on your own too maybe doesn't sound very precise to non-native speakers. They think to what? Well, the answer is your 2 feet. And this is the idea of being able to stand up and do something yourself. So especially like in the conversation, we're talking about men and women, and like the two girls, or not girls, but the younger women were speaking to me and saying, well, like, it's nice if a man can stand on his own too. And this just means like it's nice if he can be assertive, if he can do something by himself without having to be told or whatever. So this is to be able to do something yourself, basically. So to be able to manage something by yourself, to be independent, so you don't need help from other people to do something. This is to do something on your own too. We also talk about, which person does the approach. So like if a woman looks at a man in a bar and then it's his job then to walk over, or does the woman walk over and initiate the conversation? And we talk about this as making the first move. So who makes the first move in a situation like that? Does a man approach and then make that, make the first move to try to talk to the woman, to approach, to flirt with her, to initiate that? Or does the woman?
They have to do it on their own too. Like sometimes or like
Sure.
there have been guys like I've dated where I'll make more of the first moves, and then they have to do it on their own too. Like sometimes or like
Sure.
there have been guys like I've dated where I'll make more of the first moves, and then
Next, it's a special case. A special case. Now, a special case, a case just meaning like a legal case or a court case or a criminal case. This just means a particular situation. But a case, and you'll hear this word case used in conversational English a lot. I actually hear Japanese speakers use the kind of Japanese version. They say case by case. But this is from the English expression. It's a case by case thing. So maybe one person can't do something, but this other person can do it. So we have a rule, but we apply it on a case-by-case basis, a situation-by-situation basis. So maybe when we're talking about something being a special case, it's usually special, meaning that it doesn't apply the rule, or the rule doesn't apply to it, or something where maybe 10 people should follow the rule, but this other person here, he's an expert, so he's a special case. He doesn't need to follow the rules. Maybe we're taking a group of 10 people on a skiing trip, and one person is really an expert. So he can go to the top of this very dangerous mountain and ski down that by himself. He is a special case. Everyone else, you have to go with me on like the easier mountains so you don't get hurt. A special case. I think like the Bay Area is a pretty special case because there's such a you got so many more men than women out there now. So women have it much better, like dating wise or whatever, than men do out there. I think like the Bay Area is a pretty special case because there's such a you got so many more men than women out there now. So women have it much better, like dating wise or whatever, than men do out there.
It's going to be with the entertainment business, so they're very that's what it talks about.
When was that written? Because I haven't found that to be the case out here.
No, it's going to be with the entertainment business, so they're very that's what it talks about.
When was that written?
Because I haven't found that to be the
Great
case out here.
No.
Next, you'll hear way back in the day and the olden days and nowadays. Now, the expressions have changed a little bit over time. So if you watch a movie maybe from 20 years ago, people will say maybe like years ago, or when I was younger, or even in the olden days. In the olden days, these are older English expressions, but recently you'll hear back in the day. Back in the day, back in the day. This is something that people use a lot more frequently now, especially younger people. And this is just an interesting thing. This is why we continue to release a new lesson set every month, so that we can teach you the new vocabulary that's created, all these new words and phrases that become popular, and then can explain when they're maybe not so popular anymore. But back in the day is very common now, and it just means at some time in the past, 10, 20 years ago. Usually it's the young, like the time when the speaker was a child. So if I'm, 35 years old and I say, well, back in the day, I went to the local candy store and got candy for a penny or something like that. I'm talking about when I was young, or maybe some older time than that if I'm being more specific, back in the day. But we also talk about nowadays, even though we're just talking about now. So you can say now something, but it sounds a little bit softer and more conversational to say nowadays. And our final one is to take things for granted, to take something for granted. This is another great conversational expression, and it just means to not appreciate something or to not recognize the value of something, usually until you don't have that anymore. So like, maybe I go home from work every day and my wife is making me a really delicious meal, and I take it for granted that she's there to cook for me every day. So maybe I don't thank her as much as I should. And then maybe for a week she gets really sick, so she can't cook anymore. And then now I have to cook, and I'm not a very good cook at all. So I'm trying to cook and I'm not very good at it, and trying to help the family. And then I really appreciate, wow, like my wife did a great thing cooking for me all the time. So I'm reminded to say thank you every time she cooks. So I took it for granted, and you can also take someone for granted, take a person for granted. And again, this just means you're not appreciating that thing or seeing the value in that.
Or what if a guy walked up to you at the club and he was just like, like my mom would love you. What would you be?
I would kind of laugh so hard.
Watch that happen now.
Yeah.
Or try that one out. Like come out like just carry the photo album with you. Like this is me when I was 5.
Photo albums are on phones nowadays.
Oh, I know. Look at me with like a physical pictures over. I'm old.
That would be even more creepy.
Well,
this is my photo.
I always think it's so funny. Like back in the olden days, not the olden days, but like you see in movies like a cute little grandma or a cute little grandpa pulling out their wallet with a whole long line of like
all their pictures.
People watching this who are young probably don't even know what I'm talking about right now. You should show a little picture.
Well, actually, it's interesting. Again, you mentioned something like that. Like when I teach. A lot of even just the vocabulary that people have, like we take it for granted even when you're younger. So you learn something like hang the phone up. Yeah. Now you're pushing a button on the phone, but it's because so it used to be up on a wall and you would actually hang something up, or like a dial that you would turn on.
That makes sense.
So now it's a switch that you like flip back and forth or push a button. Yeah. But before, old televisions, like you remember an old television where it just had the power dial was the channel dial.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As well. So you would turn it on, turn the channel. So we would say turn the channel. Or what if a guy walked up to you at the club and he was just like, like my mom would love you. What would you be?
I would kind of laugh so hard.
Watch that happen now.
Yeah.
Or try that one out. Like come out like just carry the photo album with you. Like this is me when I was 5.
Photo albums are on phones nowadays.
Oh, I know. Look at me with like a physical pictures over. I'm old.
That would be even more creepy.
Well,
this is my photo.
I always think it's so funny. Like back in the olden days, not the olden days, but like you see in movies like a cute little grandma or a cute little grandpa pulling out their wallet with a whole long line of like
all their pictures.
People watching this who are young probably don't even know what I'm talking about right now. You should show a little picture.
Well, actually, it's interesting. Again, you mentioned something like that. Like when I teach. a lot of even just the vocabulary that people have, like we take it for granted even when you're younger. So you learn something like hang the phone up.
Yeah.
Now you're pushing a button on the phone,
Oh,
but
so
it's
you're not,
because
hanging
yeah.
it.
So it used to be up on a wall, and you would actually hang something up, or like a
yeah.
dial that you would turn on.
That makes sense.
So now it's a switch that you
Ah.
like flip back and forth or push a button.
Yeah.
But before, I mean, old televisions, like you remember an old television where it just had the power dial was the channel dial.
Yeah.
Oh
As
yeah.
well. So you would turn it on, turn the channel. So we would say turn the channel.
Well, that's it for this lesson. How do you feel? If learning this way made you feel more confident about speaking in your conversations, imagine how much better you'll feel when you use my complete system. To learn more, click on the link in the upper right of this video, or on the link in the description below this video, and start speaking English more like a native today.